Remember when the Minnesota Timberwolves mortgaged their future for Rudy Gobert and everyone said that trade was crazy? And then remember when those same people had to eat their words when the Wolves beat the defending champs the following year? It's one of the most fascinating trades in the past decade. But then the Wolves decided to make another fascinating trade right before this season started by trading Karl-Anthony Towns for Julius Randle and Donte DiVincenzo. But why? Teams that make it to the conference finals don't usually make a trade of this magnitude, and they typically don't trade the best player in the deal. Well, it's because of this man right here, Luka Dončić. Just like Nikola Jokic was the main reason the Wolves traded for Gobert, Luka Dončić is the main reason the Wolves traded for Randle. In order to understand why I'm saying this, you first have to understand both the similarities and the differences between Towns and Randle. Towns shot 42% on 3 while shooting 5 threes per game last year. According to Cleaning the Glass, that would put him in the top 88th percentile. Randle also shot 5 threes per game last year, but only on 31% shooting. That would place him in the bottom 19th percent. With already a non-shooter in Gobert, this would seem like a big mistake to trade for Randle. Well, not too fast, because Randle is shooting an amazing 46% from 3 so far. That's going to come back to earth, but it's a great start. One reason his shooting has improved is that teams are daring him to shoot, and they're leaving him open. Another is that his attempts have decreased to 4 threes per game, so his shot selection has improved. His shot selection is far from perfect still. He'll take tough shots that make you want to pull your hair out on one possession, and then have your jaw dropping on the next possession. Here Jaden McDaniels is open, as well as Conley, but he opts for the tough pull-up jumper over DeMar. And here he just needs to be more patient. He decides to shoot a fadeaway turnaround jumper, but he should just pass the ball here to Rudy, who probably would have passed it to Conley. He'll drive to the basket without a plan sometimes, head down and just lose the ball. Or he'll try to force the issue and use his shoulder or off arm into the defender, causing an offensive foul. That being said, as great as Towns is as a shooter, he doesn't really have the ability to create space and shoot like Randle does off the dribble. Randle is able to make the step back 3, and he's made quite a few of them this year. His shot creation from the perimeter is an asset the Wolves are appreciating this year. Check out this one-legged Dirk shot that he makes over Sohan. And right before that, he somehow was able to get this turnaround jump shot over Wemby's fingertips for the made basket. On the other hand, you can see that Towns isn't as smooth when it comes to his step back shot when he does use it. And he also struggles with the turnaround jump shot. When it comes to tough shot making, give me Julius Randle. And I think one of the main reasons the Wolves traded for Randle was because of his shot creation. His defense has been more of a mixed bag, but I believe it's Julius Randle's defense that could be the key reason why the Wolves made the trade. You see, Towns did struggle switching onto other players when he was targeted on defense. Give him credit, his effort level was there, but Kyrie and Luka just had his number on that side of the floor. Kyrie and Luka already have Rudy to target, but another big, albeit a more mobile one, is just another sign of weakness that Kyrie and Luka can exploit. The Mavs and the Wolves played each other on October 29th, and Kyrie got hot. The Wolves were switching Randle onto him, but Kyrie made him pay. But I actually think Randle did a decent job on him. Kyrie shot 5 times while Randle was switched onto him, and he made 4 of those 5 shots. But Randle made him work for those shots, and Kyrie was just on fire. Luka shot 3 times while Randle was switched onto him, and he missed all 3 shots, including 1 airball. Super small sample size, I know, and I'm not implying that Randle is the Luka stopper, but with the eye test you can see that he is more switchable than Towns. And this is the primary reason why I feel like the Wolves preferred Randle over Towns. The best teams in the NBA can play multiple types of defenses. We have already seen the Wolves test some Randle at center minutes. When the playoffs arrive, you want to be able to adapt and limit your opponent's strengths. You just have to be prepared to play any opponent in any different style. Well, I started to think, what if we get another Wolves vs Nuggets series in the playoffs? Who would Randle guard then? The safer option would be to have Rudy guard Jokic, and that is what they did when they played each other this year. However, they could potentially have Randle guard Jokic with Rudy as the roamer. This series may be the one where the Wolves miss Towns over Randle the most. But if Randle could be 70 to 80% of the post defender that Towns was, then I think they'll be fine. I feel like the Wolves are more concerned with facing the Mavs than the Nuggets. The last thing I want to discuss about Randle's defense is his effort level. There's been a number of simple mistakes or lack of effort that I see from him. Here he closes out on Barnes and he's way too late, and he's too upright and Barnes gets the layup. On this possession, he doesn't switch onto Gordon, and it's an easy short jumper for Aaron. And here he fails to match up with his man in transition, who is PJ Washington, and it's an open 3 for PJ. Intensity levels increase during the playoffs, so personally I'm not too concerned about this, but the regular season is more important than ever, especially in the Western Conference. You have to treat each possession like a postseason possession. As I was watching and comparing both Towns and Randle, I had to remind myself that there was another player in that trade, and he's pretty good too. Dante hasn't shot it all that well this year, but his defense has been solid. Mike Conley has really struggled so far this year, but Dante has helped steer the ship for them. If it weren't for him, Minnesota's depth would be looking scary thin right now. In the end, the Wolves traded Towns in return for defensive versatility and depth. It's premature to determine the outcome of the trade, but I believe it was the right move. Time will tell, but let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. Peace.